All right, welcome to the Bobelo podcast, and here we go again.
Podcast number 2? 2, nice. The joys of a startup. Kind of today that's what we want to talk about is just startup life, startup vibe, everything that kind of goes into it.
Yeah.
Just the fact that you have to wear tons of hats, there's no clear direction. And kind of what needs to be done. It's kind of exciting.
Yeah, I hope you guys enjoy it. We'll have 20% off coupon code in the description below. And then comment and tell us about your startups. If you're in Utah area, we'd love to maybe have you guys on the podcast and talk about this whole Utah startup environment and how things are going for you guys.
Yeah, because we're no experts in this, so
No,
we're trying to learn as much as we can.
Yeah, you'll hear about how non-expert we are in the podcast.
Bam! We're here.
Here you go.
The Bobelo cast. So I'm Cole, and this is Chandler here.
Yeah.
We met him last time.
Yep, I do all the R&D, chemistry, formulation stuff, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm kind of a everywhere guy. So yeah, that's kind of what we want to talk about today is kind of a startup vibe and everything that goes into it. I'm super new with the whole startup sphere. Chandler's been in it a little bit longer than me. So.
A little bit, but I've only been in it with Bobelo too. So it's been really interesting to see how like life in a startup, I guess. I initially came on to do all the chemistry formulation stuff, and it's been a lot of fun. And so I started out doing chemistry stuff because I have a chemistry background. I guess that's my shirt, even with chemical engineering. But then I kind of worked and started doing flavoring stuff. I'd never done flavoring stuff before, so that was really interesting to figure out flavor profiles and how the different flavor ingredients add and sweeteners, all that sort of stuff. And then now I do like Amazon stuff, so I do most of Amazon advertising and take on that role. Production stuff, trying to get new ingredients ordered and the new ingredients made and packaged and all that sort of stuff. So it's an interesting experience. You do you do whatever you need to do, really, whatever comes up at the moment.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, my background is a little bit different than Chandler's. I've kind of done tons of different things. I started out doing swimming pool design. Then I jumped over to like real estate investment, kind of 1031 exchanges, all that kind of stuff. And then I went over into aviation and started doing piloting and stuff like that. And then just kind of handyman stuff, all of that physical labor, everything. And then now I'm here, and it's kind of that trend just continued. I'm just still doing whatever needs to be done. So I guess my main role, I'm doing fulfillment stuff. And then I'm doing all a lot of the graphic design and everything, and just putting out fires where we can. And that's the thing with the startup. Yeah. It's all over the place. It's I think, I don't know if it's the same for you, Chandler, but the most difficult part of a startup for me is like not having super clear direction of where you want to go. Mm-hmm. Like all these other companies that I've worked for and things like that, it's like, okay, here's our direction. This is what we want you to do. This is how we want you to do it, and make it happen.
Yeah.
Here, it's like, for me, it's like, oh shoot, I don't know like exactly what we're supposed to do.
There's no direction.
There's no direction.
Like the direction's wherever we want to go.
Yeah, exactly. So, is that the same for you?
Yeah, I'm just thinking so like my stuff is flavor development and all that R&D stuff. So we're talking about adding some new energy flavors, but we could also add a brand new line, probiotics line that we've talked about and haven't done yet. We've talked about adding new immune flavors. Well, all three of those are total possible options. We have flavors for really all of those that we can move forward with. So which one do you do? What's the reason to do one versus the other? How many resources do you have to go down any path? And then you get on kind of your design stuff. Well, you have to mock up the stick packs, the packaging, all the sort of stuff that goes along with each one of those lines. Maybe one of them makes more sense than another one just on a design side with the colors that we've already got going, and maybe brand names that we can pull off of. And there's all sorts of stuff to go into there. That's you can go wherever you want, which is free but scary, and it's scary because there's just too many options
Yeah.
almost.
And then it's like after that, you have to get it to market.
Yeah.
You have to get people to hear about it and pitch it to them, and
Mm-hmm.
that is, I mean, on my side, that's super hard because like Chandler comes up with this super awesome idea and really good flavors and stuff, and we all try it, and it's like, man, this is amazing. And then we got to get other people to feel that same way, and that's
Yeah.
oh yeah, that's another challenge right there. So
Yeah. So like on your stuff, for instance, how did so you didn't come into this knowing graphic design stuff, knowing Adobe products in general.
no,
So
not
where
at
did
all.
where did that come from? So like first time in a startup company, you do whatever the job requires at the time. So where did that come from for you? Like where was there a pull from a need on the Bobelo side, or was it something you were more interested in that you kind of started doing?
Yeah, that's a good question. I'd say for me, it's always been. I mean, I kind of talked a little bit about my background. Just I love progression. I love learning new things. And when I came here, I learned very quickly that there was no clear direction, and so I just did whatever needed to be done. And I saw an opportunity in the design side and kind of packaging design and the graphics and all of that stuff, and it was a kind of a big bottleneck for us because we were having third parties do it, and we're kind of going back and forth all the time, and it was just taking so much time. And so I was like, I can learn this stuff.
Yeah.
So, and I'm no expert, but I'm still progressing and still trying to learn it and everything. So yeah, I mean, it's kind of been a fun journey for me to learn that, and just pick up where is needed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So-
that's fine. I think it's really hard in a startup company to not simply go where the fires are, because there's always a lot of fires to put out.
Mhm.
Like to actually have some kind of goal in mind and a direction in mind, and to even set benchmark goals as you're going along, but to not just get pulled away in the day-to-day fires that come up. Because obviously the fires have to get put out. Like the fires are important fires. Like they have to get put out. Things have to get resolved. But it's so easy to get stuck in just doing those things instead of looking forward to, okay, what really is the next step? What are other outlets we want to get to?
Right.
For instance, we've got one outlet that's just taken forever to get there, and part of it's just because we've had so many other things we need to do, and then part of it is maybe that we just haven't put the time into trying to go there, to trying to reach out to different outlets.
Right.
Because it's just so easy to get distracted. There's a million ways to do things the wrong way or slightly wrong way. And you just learn as you go to figure out what works and what would you do different next time. And
Right.
I mean, it's really no different than just going through life. Of just maybe you have some regrets or do things the right way or wrong way, and maybe you just simply fall into some things, and it's whatever.
Yeah.
You should do the best you can.
Yeah, and the other thing too, like for us here at Bobelo, it makes it difficult. I mean, there's four of us. Tanner is our videographer and doing all this stuff, and there's me and Chandler and then Steven.
Yeah.
I mean, that's it. So like when we do, finally decide on a direction, what we want to go, it's like, oh, we got to execute, and it makes it tough with only four people.
Yeah, nobody else is doing the execution.
Right. Yeah, everything kind of just falls on us.
Yeah.
So it's like it's up to us to get it done, or it doesn't happen. It's like you can't like put it off and say, okay, I'm gonna have my team do this, and like a lot of these other bigger companies, like you kind of spread out the requirements or the what needs to be done, and when it's just four people, it's tough, but it makes it more fun that way. We come closer together, and we have to unite on our ideas and thoughts, otherwise it doesn't work.
Well, I don't think there's any. So in my field, for instance, in chemical engineering, obviously I had to go to some school to do this sort of stuff. It's a very technical field in a lot of sense. But for instance, a lot of chemical engineers go into like petroleum sort of stuff. I'm a chemical engineer. I'm not an expert in petroleum stuff. Now I'm more an expert in this formulation stuff, and I have my other chemical engineering expertise. But I'm an expertise in the formulation side because I've had to work a long time at the formulation side, not because I have extensive training in that side.
Mhm.
And so, like in the same way that, like you're becoming much more of an expert in the Adobe product side because you've just had to be, because you've
Right.
had to learn that and had to figure that out. And to me, that's really exciting and really fun, because you can, like, so you look at all these different industry leaders. How did they get to their spot? They've just been doing it a long time, and they've been forced to excel in those particular areas,
Right.
because otherwise they wouldn't have succeeded. They wouldn't be where they are unless they did really well in that. So it just forces you to become excellent in different areas, or you fail, or it just kicks you out of the whole system.
Right.
Like,
Oh, the joys of the startup, man!
Yeah.
It's been exciting. It's been a ride, and for me, I'm just excited to see where this thing goes. I mean, we've been putting a lot into it, and I mean, it's an awesome product. If any of you haven't tried it, try it. I love it. My mom's obsessed with it. She keeps telling me, like, Cole, like, if this thing doesn't work out, what am I gonna do? I have to have my Bobelo.
Yeah, I
That's
think
a true story, by the way. She's obsessed with this.
I think
stuff.
there's quite a few people like that, especially after they try it, and some people just really get addicted to it and love this stuff. So yeah, I'm with you. Just really excited to see exactly where this goes. So I mean, as of right now, we're a year and a half ish, going on a year and a half since our crowdfunding campaign. Things are going pretty well. We've got a couple different outlets and different flavors coming out. But yeah, we'll have to see what happens in the coming 6 months and then the coming year or two.
Yeah.
It's be really interesting.
Yeah, it's been tough. Yeah, maybe at a later time we'll have to talk about kind of our avenues of sales channels
Yeah,
and
future
what we're
stuff and
pushing
see what things look like.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
exciting.
It's been really fun. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you guys later.